This is the Manchineel tree. It grows in Florida, the Caribbean, and Central America. It looks perfectly ordinary from a distance. It is not ordinary. The Manchineel tree produces a sap so toxic that standing under it in the rain can cause chemical burns. Its fruit looks like a small apple and has been known to make people violently ill after a single bite. The wood releases toxic smoke when burned. The Spanish called it Manzanilla de la Muerte, the little apple of death. But that's not even the interesting part. To understand why the Manchineel is so remarkable and so strange, you need to understand what plants are actually doing beneath the surface. Most trees in a forest are connected by a vast underground network of fungi called mycorrhizae. Through this network, trees share nutrients, water, and even chemical warning signals. A tree being attacked by insects can send a chemical alarm through the network, and neighboring trees will start producing defensive compounds before the insects even reach them. Researchers have documented trees, particularly older ones, sometimes called mother trees, actively directing extra nutrients through the network toward younger seedlings nearby, including their own offspring. The forest, it turns out, is not a collection of individuals competing for resources. It's more like a community with a shared infrastructure. And then there's the Manchineel, which took one look at that community and chose violence. The Manchineel practices something called allelopathy, the release of chemical compounds into the soil specifically designed to suppress the growth of competing plants nearby. It poisons the ground around itself, not as a side effect. As a strategy, the bare circle of dead earth you see around a Manchineel isn't a coincidence. The tree made that deliberately, so it gets all the sunlight, all the water, all the nutrients in that zone uncontested. From an evolutionary standpoint, it's actually brilliant. While other trees evolved toward cooperation, the Manchineel evolved toward total local domination. And it worked. The tree has survived for millions of years across multiple continents using essentially the same strategy. Make yourself impossible to compete with and lethal to consume. No predators eat its leaves. No fungi colonize its roots the same way. Even the rain that falls through its canopy is toxic enough to blister skin. It didn't win by making friends. It won by making the neighborhood uninhabitable for everyone else. The Manchineel is the most dramatic example, but it's not alone. The black walnut tree produces a compound called juglone from its roots, toxic to tomatoes, apples, and dozens of other plants. Gardeners who plant near a black walnut learn this the hard way. Garlic mustard, an invasive plant spreading across North America, releases chemicals that specifically disrupt the mycorrhizal network other plants depend on. It's not just competing, it's cutting the communication lines. Even eucalyptus trees, beloved in landscaping, are notorious for creating soil conditions so hostile that very little grows beneath them. We tend to see forests as peaceful places, and in many ways they are, but the ground beneath them is running a slow, chemical, completely silent competition that has been going on for hundreds of millions of years. The Manchineel just does it loudest. There's a version of this story that's just about a very toxic tree in Florida, but the longer version is about how survival doesn't require playing nicely. The forest has cooperators and defectors, sharers and hoarders, trees that built communities, and trees that scorched the earth so no community could form near them. Both strategies are still here, millions of years later. Nature doesn't pick a side, it just keeps score.